What's up, everybody? So we are here today for the first track of Quarter Life Crisis, the series, the album, my sophomore album. But anyway, y'all, so this week's episode is going to feature only me, but basically we are talking about and kind of going over, why we thought at 25 our lives would be together. Now, I'm 28, but, my target audience, we all know, is 25, 34. And it's a lot of people in this age range who feel like, dang, I'm not married, I ain't got kids. What am I not doing right? And I just wanted this episode to help you to choose make the decision to be okay with not having every answer and not having every decision. Now, of course, as the mixtape or the album, goes along, we're going to see, the different topics more in depth. But in this one, I really just want to talk about that. So be prepared for the laughs this episode. I guess I can wild out because I'm by myself. And just to really just be at peace. If nothing else, I want this episode to help you to be at peace with not having all the answers. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm telling y'all, all it takes is one thing for certain people to leave. They be in a relationship ready to go. Ooh. They in a relationship just to save face. Some people don't even want to be there. But still, in this case, that's a good brand. They ain't talking about young and restless like these people tired having bags under their eyes. 25 looking like they going on 50 because they stressed out.
I'm back and it's up PSA. Wow. I'm too flick to take off all my shit at TSA.
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
All right. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Izzy Baker. And I'm here today for track 1 of the newest series in my sophomore album, Quarter Life Crisis. We had to add a little applause there because we need y'all to understand it's time. It's time. I'm happy to be doing another album, and this one is obviously going to be different than last year, and it's going to be different from the original mixtape because besides this episode, pretty much if not all of the episodes will have a guest, since we switched over to interview style for the show, and all just detailing different ways to be okay with being 25 and in between 33 without having your life together. And this episode, the purpose of this one is just to kind of help you make the decision or the choice to be okay with not having your life together at 25, or if you are 33, because that's my oldest, age group. If you don't have it together, that's okay. The world is not over. And just hopefully this episode helps you with getting a peace and, kind of breaking down why we were okay with that, or why we felt that we needed to have our lives together by 25 and, such. So before I get too far in and ranting, let's get into today's title. So the title of this episode is The Young and the Restless. Life Won't Be Complete at 25. The meme reads, remember when we said we were going to be married with kids and a millionaire by the time we were 25? ? I remember when I was thinking some of those things was going to happen. And look at me now at a fresh 28. Inspiration for this episode comes from a tweet. And I remember years ago, I think I was in college, maybe even high school, and I remember a girl had tweeted, she was like, oh, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to have my 2 kids, I'm going to be married, and in the career of my dreams. Ooh. Then I saw another tweet from this dude recently where he was kind of like saying, y'all remember when we thought that was going to happen? And he was like, look at me now. He was like, none of that is happening. I'm the most and the happiest I'm ever been. And one of my friends, shout out to Erica, she said, by the time she was 25, she thought those things were going to happen. And she was like, and I'm happy with my life now without those things. So it's kind of going back to the episode with Robert Mack, choosing to be happy. Shout out to Rob Mack. Everybody getting a shout out today. and how he just was like, you know, you can choose. Happiness is a choice. And so hopefully if you don't get nothing else from this episode, we kind of piggyback off that episode where you decide, you make the choice to be happy no matter what situation or circumstance. And if nothing else, you decide to be okay with not having everything together at this age range. I mean, even if you're 23, because some people may be having, you know, early quarter life crisis. 22, you may be feeling like, you know, you graduated from college and you feel like your life ain't there. It's not technically for y'all, but it's still, you know, you can still relate. Also, want to shout out to Ron. He'll be on the album later in a few weeks. And he was kind of saying, like, even before social media, we had the mentality that our lives should be together by 25. And yeah, look at us. And obviously the quarter life crisis, the whole, you know, definition, you know, and that is a real thing. I didn't make that up. I kind of thought I did, but I didn't. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, y'all. So for this episode, as I stated, I am by myself. So today's is a story time. All right. And today's story is titled Quarter Life Crisis. Lizzie had it all planned out. Everything. And I mean all of it. She just knew she was going to be married. She knew she was going to be getting her master's. She knew she was going to be in the college of her dreams, have the career of her dreams. She knew she was going to have 3 kids. She knew she was going to have a big old home. All this, she just knew it. However, she was 6 months away from her 25th birthday. Her and her boyfriend just broke up. She didn't have any kids. She didn't go back to get her master's. She had just really finished college. And she was in a career that she knew she hated. In her mind, she felt like life was over. But it was until she got her newest idea. This was that she was going to go back to school at using the career that she didn't like because they offered to pay for her to go back to school. She wanted to get back with her boyfriend, but she felt like if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And she also realized that she was making so much money from the job that she hated and the fact that they were paying her to go back to school. So she tried to look at the bright side and enjoy just being happy with where she was. And then her perspective changed. And she realized she wasn't a failure at 25. Well, 24 and 6 months. All right, y'all. So let's go on to today's lessons from the story. So the first one is you are not a failure at 25. Even though she wasn't 25 yet, she was close to 25. And, you know, a lot of times we put timelines, and that goes to the next lesson. Like, we got to stop putting timelines on our lives and trying to say at this age, I want this to happen. Now, there's nothing wrong with having goals and trying to, you know, work out goals. But at the same time, I think this generation has fallen in love with manifestation. And although I do believe in manifestation, their way of doing it is I manifest this, I manifest that. I want what God manifests for me, because what we might think we want, raise your hand, I'm raising mine. How many times have we think we wanted something and then we got it and it was like, this ain't it? Or how many times we thought we wanted something and then we didn't get it and then we realized we thankful we didn't get it. So I'm just telling y'all to be careful with manifesting your own stuff, because that's what happened. Consult God first. I just read that in like 1 Samuel, what was that, 21, 22? I think it was 22. They talk about him consulting the Lord before he made the decision. And then I was reading out the NIV, so I think that's when they used the word consult, because I wouldn't use that in King James, I don't believe. But anyway, yeah, consult. So just keep that in the back of your head. And enjoy failing, because she was at a job she hated. And this same job that she hated was the one that was to pay her to go back to school. She had the boyfriend, but it didn't work out, and she was just kind of like okay with it. She didn't want to try to force nothing to work out. And a lot of times we want to force things to work that's dead. And that's a choice too. Choosing to be okay with stuff being dead and choosing not to go back to certain things. So yeah. It's a hard choice, but I mean, just remember, y'all, it is doable. All right, so voice cracking. Feel like a preteen. All right, so let's get into the definitions for the day. I went ahead and defined young, having lived or existed for only a short time. Restless, of a person or animal unable to rest or relax as a result of anxiety or boredom. And then I went ahead and defined complete. I picked the best definition for this, which was finish, making, or doing. And when I think, and just reading off the title, and then obviously the definitions for the week, young and restless, we know that's the soap opera, but I feel like this generation is young and restless. And obviously I have my target group, but I mean, even to 20-year-olds are young and restless because it's just so much going on. And I don't want to reveal too much. I wanted to kind of unpack it as we go along, but it is a lot, and it's easy to be young and restless, especially with social media. And you are seeing people do great things, and you do have those parents that kind of make those little comments like, "Oh yeah, well when you get married, or yeah, when," and they think they're helping, but they're really not. They're adding more pressure, or they say stuff like, "Yeah, well, when your wife, or with your this, and when your kids," and it's just like, okay, I get it. You want this to happen. I do too, but just relax. So. Yeah. All right. Let's move into, because I'm by myself, QT&A, questions that needs addressing.
Question.
All right. So the first question, who told us that our lives were supposed to be together by 25? Now, I'm not going to be ignorant and be like, oh, the white man, because that's not the case. But I can say that society did make it seem like by 25, this should be how it should be. I'm the believer that 25 is really the beginning of your life, because 25 is you're a quarter in. You know, most people make it to, 50. Some people make it to 75, and you have people that's real blessed that make it to 100. So they live for 4 quarters, and they lived for a century. But most people, not everybody, and RIP to all the people that fallen early. But most can make it to 25 and do. And I feel like that's the kickoff of your life. I used to dread turning. Well, let me go into the next question, which is, why does 30 scare us? Ooh. Am I still excited to turn 30? As of now, no, but I'm not like scared of it either. But I'm not like, oh, I'm running to 30. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that either, because I got 28 and I got 29. And, so much can happen in a year. Really, a lot can happen in 6 months. And the way this world is going, you know what I mean? I could be the international superstar by tomorrow night, while you playing with me. So we're just going to see what's going to happen. But I think that 30 scares us because we just feel like we were taught that was so old. And we look like, dang, 30, you old. Like, that's old. And then people will say, well, when you going to have some kids? When you getting married? You 30. When that's going to happen? You know what I mean? But the way this world is going, people not having kids now, it's like a trend. Be 35, 36, 37. You got some 40-year-olds be doing it. Some people getting married late. Because my thing is, some of y'all done got married and then been divorced at 25, 26. And I'm not exaggerating. People really be divorced at this age. And they be like 28 talking about some, I'm divorced. Huh? What you mean? But I think that we get pushed into doing stuff, and we like, oh, let me just go do this now. And it's just like, it ain't the time. 3, which I'm gonna get into as we get along today. But the question is, can I have fun, or should I be working? Some of us are kind of like Harriet Tubman, I've been working on the railroad. And the thing with that is, I know when to take breaks. I just feel like, and I hate to go there and get kind of dark, but it's just like people dying left and right. Like, enjoy your life. If you don't want to go to work, don't go to work. I done said this many times on this platform. I'm going to say it on other platforms, and as many times as I can. Take a break. Don't have to go to work every day. That's what you got days for. Shout out, everybody getting a shout out this week. Shout out to QLC. I remember she made a post on Instagram and she was just like, either I'm there every day or I'm on time, but you can't have both. That's how I feel. Like, I don't feel as though I should have my life together right now. I feel like life is still being written personally. But that's just me. And I get everyone is different. I get everyone, I think that it goes to the next question, which, do you feel society set us up? Said it already. I'll say it again. Absolutely. I feel that we were taught to have it together now. I think that social media and TikTok don't make it no better. Well, that's the same thing because TikTok is social media, but but it does kind of get into the question when I see certain things and I be like, you too old, or for me at least, I'm like, I'm too old for that. And it's just that I feel like this is a transitional age, and I feel like we're already on top of this being the transitional age for us. It's a transitional period in life. The way the world is set up, the way God is moving at this point in time is very like transition like. And I don't want nobody to miss the jet because it is easy to do. It is easy to miss what's coming, and I don't want nobody to miss nothing. But I will say this. Still enjoy your life. Now, while we talking about missing jets, I'm talking about I need to catch me another jet. Like, I just got back from New York. I'm in St. Louis at the moment, but I'm ready to go somewhere else. Cause St. Louis don't count. That's home. But I want to go somewhere else. I don't know. I'm supposed to be going to Chicago at the end of July, which I'm going to do. But I may have to go somewhere in between that, too. Dallas is easy because that's a drive. But I don't know. I'm going to have to go somewhere. So we need to set that up. Y'all remember that song, like don't miss this jet, ho? Remember that? And it was like jet life to the next life. And that's when everybody was a stoner back in the day. I mean, some of y'all still stoners now, good for you, I guess. I'm not, but, it is what it is. Y'all do what's best for you, or you think is best. And I'll leave it at that. All right, y'all. So let's move into the segment, the newest one. What does this have to do with mental health? All right, so first of all, as always, I got my notes. So it says, according to studies, the most common triggers for a quarter-life crisis in women include a relationship breakup, debt of financial difficulties, and being stuck in a relationship you don't want to be in. So let's unpack them in order. So the first one, a relationship breakup. We go back to the story. Lizzie, the baddest. That ain't her name, but I just said that. But Lizzie, the baddest, she broke up with her dude. And she was hurt by it. And, unfortunately, well, we don't know everything that happened, but it can be inferred that she is okay, and that things happen. That's just life, right? But the thing is, I'm interested to see what will happen next. But with her, then it leads to the second one, which is a debt of financial difficulties. It's easy, okay? This is the thing, though, too, y'all got to understand. And I hope that you understand. If, a lot of us are having financial difficulties just because of inflation. Biden just released that now you worried about, these COVID. And I don't know if I want to get canceled today. But what I will say is, you over here talking about, they have new vaccines for kids 6 and under for COVID. You need to be doing something about these prices. Y'all, President Trump told you everything that was going to happen with Biden, and it did. He gave y'all a prophetic word. Y'all ain't listen because y'all just hated Trump so much. And now y'all voted for Biden, and whoop, there it is. The real devil. But you know how I feel about politics. That's why I don't discuss politics here, because I'm not the politics person. Y'all don't want to hear my views. Y'all and tried to nail me to the cross, and I'm not going. So there's that. But it is what it is. But anyway, even when she said, or not she, but the study said being stuck in a relationship you don't want to be in, I'm telling y'all, all it takes is one thing for certain people to leave. They be in a relationship ready to go. Ooh. I in a relationship just to save face. Some people don't even want to be there. And then they told y'all gonna be in that car crying. I said this before, in that car crying like Pfeiffer and paid in full because you so sad and you so irritated. And I'm like, if this is what y'all got going on, don't get it twisted. It's gonna be moments, but like a lot of times I'll be like, you don't have to deal with that. And that goes for both men and women, not just men. But y'all, you don't have to deal with that. So, but you made the choice. You decided. So I can't. There's nothing I can do. Now, it says for men, the most common triggers are being trapped in a job you hate, experiencing stress and pressure in your job, and periods of unwanted unemployment. And I've suffered from all three. Being trapped at a job you hate this past year, y'all know, but I'm free from them shackles of that job, of the mess, and people making up stuff, and people putting words in your mouth, and people just stirring up mess because I guess that's what they like to do. So you may have think you won getting rid of me, but really I won because now I'm at peace and about to be making way more. You see? So that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all need to stop giving people y'all energy. And I'm talking to me, but it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Then the second one, it says, experiencing stress and pressure at your job. I've had that both ways. And then periods of unwanted unemployment. That's funny though. Periods of unwanted employment. Yeah, that's too. Because the way people was running it up when them checks was here. What's them stimulus checks and was running up bags of 50K tap in, 20K tap in. I wish I could be a scammer. I wish I could be all of that. Because I'd be a YRN right now. I mean, I kind of am a YRN, but which plays into the episode, YRN, young rich nigga. So, and not young restless nigga. That's funny. I think a lot of people are young restless niggas. So when they say YRN, they ain't saying young rich nigga. They saying young restless nigga because they working. And it's a brand called Young and the Restless. But still, in this case, that's a good brand. They ain't talking about young and restless like these people tired having bags under their eyes, 25 looking like they going on 50 because they stressed out. It's a real thing. Trust me. I've seen it. I've seen it. I see it all the time. I'm not even playing. But I remember, and I was going to discuss this later, but I'll just discuss it now. Basically, I remember in 2017, I had a bunch of odd jobs, and then after having a decent job, but I was about to get fired, so I was late one day to work, and they had called me, and the man had kind of already warned me, like, you coming late, and you not catching on what we doing, and I would hate for somebody new to come in and do better than you. So basically, I remember one morning, the night before I went to my homeboy birthday party. Party was jumping, and I didn't get home till 2, but I had to be up at 6. So I remember waking up at I had to be there at 6, and I had to leave at 5:45. I woke up at 6:20, 6:30. So I ended up being like, yo, boss, I think I texted him and I was like, hey, I'm running late. Yeah, after I just had that conversation, right? So I sent Buddy a text, right? Halfway on the way there, I sent Buddy a text and I said, hey, boss, today's going to be my last day. And then I blocked his number and I went back home and sleep. And then after that, I had little odd jobs and I didn't get a stable job till 2017, obviously 2017, till October of 2017. So, yeah. And was I stressed? Kinda. I was more stressed by people in my life, which I'll get off with that because I don't want to throw no shots. But more so the pressure added from others in that hour and in that season versus myself. I was just kind of stressed, but I'm kind of like, okay, it's going to work out. And, obviously it did. And look at me now. But I believe situations like that build character. Okay? So, here's the thing. It is being stressed, okay? Like I said, being stressed in a way, I feel like builds character, right? And being a certain age, the old people would say, oh, you this age, you don't need to be stressed. And we kind of, blow off the older people when they make their little comments, because sometimes they be good, and sometimes they be like, shut up, Edna. I feel like somebody grinning ain't listening, they're gonna be offended. And if your name is Edna, I'm sorry, I ain't trying to say your name. Oh, I mean it is, but I'm not trying to make you feel bad for it, because you can't change your name. I mean, you could go by E. What's up, E? If you're a girl, you be like, oh, what's up, Ed? On some funny stuff. You could. But according to 13 reasons why millennials are so stressed. So I picked 7. So the first one says anxiety. 12% of millennials have been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, and this will cause stress in their lives. 30% of the millennials who are already in the workforce have been characterized as having anxiety, and in excess of 61% of college students have also been reported to have the condition. And this is what builds the stress beyond normal levels, right? 2, we kind of already talked about the tough job market. We know it's hard right now. We're about to go back into a recession if we ain't already started. And, it's going to be kind of looking like Joseph and them back in when that famine hit. The third one is student debt. I ain't paying out one student loan, so
oh my God.
You take that what you want and do with it as you please. I'm not paying it, hang it up. But y'all president said he was getting rid of student loans, and they still here. Some people's did, but not everybody. The fourth one is psychological imbalance. It says millennials are forced to endure so much at an early stage. This will lead to emotional imbalance. Millennials contend with so much, from divorce of parents to coping with growing up too fast, and in an era where information and access is easily magnified. With all these factors in play, millennials become increasingly stressed. I could believe that it's the information age, and it's just too much. It's just too much a lot of the time. Fifth one, bad sleeping habits. Y'all go to bed. I'm telling y'all going to regret it in later years. You need to take naps, do something. Even though they say the naps throw off the circadian rhythm. I learned that recently. So get your sleep regularly. And then if you do take a nap, only take it for like 25, 30 minutes. Set an alarm. And even with me, like sometimes y'all I done that, and it'd be like I'll be more recharged in a 25, 30 minute nap than one is like 2-3 hours, because like you be drained. So yeah. Also, the culture of perfectionism for 6, which I believe that's the case. And everything is a culture these days, right? The base word for culture is cult.
Oh my God.
Think about that. But for real, I think that we feel that we have to be perfect with everything that we're doing. And sometimes I will intentionally leave flaws on purpose which is a choice, just to show my humanity. And I think that's something y'all should pick up on too, because it actually is effective. And then the last one, it says, which we already done touched on, but it has the statistics to go with it, which is the lack of work and life balance, which it says millennials are known to thrive in a setting where they have a work and life balance. Without the balance, millennials are known to face a difficult process of determining how to allocate time and still be productive. Get y'all a calendar, and not one on your phone. I mean, you can be old school, put it on a big calendar, like get you one from the dollar store. Get one of them and do it, and you'll see the difference. I promise you will. All right, so now let's move into another segment, the weekly sabbatical. All right, y'all. So as we know, with the weekly sabbatical, this is the time to reflect and, just kind of about everything. Now, I kind of did the reflection a little early because I kind of went over the story I wanted to tell. That's okay, because it was still a part of everything. So, according to Quarter Life Crisis and Its Consequences for Young Adults by Mandy Kloppers, the crisis of the quarter life age is often marked by indecisiveness about the future, jealousy towards peers, loss of direction in life, lack of motivation, split between the desire to have fun and have responsibilities. Now, such a crisis in the quarter life of a young adult is not unusual. However, if the problem is not adequately addressed, quarter life consequences can be quite severe. It then reads and says that unresolved crisis can lead to reckless behavior, such as alcoholism, which can then cause other health problems. It can also exacerbate problems with depression, anxiety, etc. All right, so again, we could think about Sunday Fun Day. People who Sunday Fun Day every Sunday. Now, can you be sober on Sunday Fun Day? Absolutely. You don't have to have a drink or 2 or 7. But a lot of the times these people do Sunday Fun Day, reckless spending, which then leads to bad sleeping habits, which then leads to being drunk and belligerent and out your body. I'm telling you now, I done seen some Sunday Fun Days where they did it to people, right? Like, for instance, which we don't think about it, but like we go to Sunday fun day or whatever day, you just go crazy, right? You go crazy, spend a bunch of money because it ain't even always liquor. Sometimes it's food. You feel the need, and we all got that one person or that one friend that feel the need to get them something to eat, even when they ain't hungry. Everywhere y'all stop at, I got one, and at the time I've been that, but I'm not no more. So there's that. But the thing is, you just spend all this money. You didn't watch somebody be belligerent, or maybe not even watch it. Maybe they didn't happen, because sometimes you can have a sober Sunday fun day. You don't have to indulge in, beverages, that cause intoxication. But if they do start tripping and being belligerent, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get on that phone, 911. What's your emergency? And I'm gonna let them know, buddy tripping, sister tripping. And if you make it sound like you feel threatened, if you use words like I feel threatened, they may run to the spot a little sooner than later. But I say that to say this. It's a lot going on for us in the world we live in now, and it's easy to just overindulge. But let's go to some tips, all right? And let's utilize some easy tips to help you through your QLC if you're going through one, which is from What is a Quarter Life Crisis and How to Deal with It by Jesse J. Wayne. It says, step 1, first identify which areas need your focus. Many issues can contribute to your quarter life crisis. The first step is to pinpoint what is the biggest issue for you. You can then focus on fixing these areas first to create the momentum. Is it a general sense of purposelessness and not knowing what you want to do in life? Or is it just a dissatisfaction with your career, your relationship status, a combination of all things? I think we saw in the story, we go back to that, Lizzie kind of was like all over the place. But what is causing you the most pain, or where do you feel like you don't have it together? And then for me, I'm not really there now, but I'm just saying for anybody that is, write down that area. What is it in particular that you're struggling with? Take time out your day, your night, whatever, to just sit. Even if you at work ain't doing nothing, just write out like, what am I the most stressed? What area am I the most stressed in? And then that's when you take that stuff up to God, like, what can we do to fix that? The second one, it says set goals. Once you've taken stock and figured out your main area for focus, it's time to decide what you want to happen in these areas to give you direction to head in. The best way to do this is through setting goals for yourself. These have to be real goals that you want and not what you think you want or what society dictates you want. All right, so there's that, and that's good. And then 3, it says take action. Once you know where you want to go, the last step is to take action. Take action is only what you can get out of the crisis. Thinking about it, no matter how long you spend, is not going to change your situation, and therefore how you feel. Messy action is better than no action, and the way you create change. As mentioned, the factor that differentiates quarter lifers who emerge from their crisis with a positive experience and a sense of growth were the ones who took action to create changes in their lives. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and start taking action immediately to create change. As you start moving, momentum will build and you will start to feel better and better. Going through a quarter life crisis is a hard experience, but sometimes things need to disintegrate before they can actually rebuild. I'm going to read that again. Things need to actually disintegrate before they can rebuild. Use this period as an opportunity to grow and to learn more about yourself and what you want out of life. When you do this, you can live more intentionally and build a life you can truly be happy in. Long story short, you can't stop everything. Certain things gonna happen. I've been in situations where we didn't want it to happen, and those things that crumbled end up being the best things that happened to us. And I think when I had mine, I think it was the best thing that happened to me, as far as when I didn't go with that period without a long time without a job. And that was again in 2017. Of course, I haven't had moments of growth since then. I have, but still, that was a time which was effective, and it was a lot going on, and it forced me to kind of think, and I learned what I wanted to do in my life in that period, and have been taking steps towards that since, which is kind of part of the reason the podcast came about. Because as y'all remember, which I haven't heard in a long time, remember the podcast started off as a blog, and look at us now, 6 seasons in, and $1 million later.
Ah. Oh my God.
All right, y'all. So that's it for today. Let's go ahead and go over the question and challenge for the week before we go. So this week's question and challenge for the week is I want to ask you, the question and challenge for this week is, Are you in a QLC, quarter life crisis, or have you ever been in one? All right. And then feel free to explain from there. All right, y'all. This episode was not the longest. It's just me. But be happy for next week because we have a great guest and we talk about how to bounce back after the quarter life crisis does hit, because trust me, it will. And she has a great story. So, yeah, that's it for this week. All right, y'all. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are and make your mind up. Don't let it make you.